Y'all, extra, extra, read all about it. Check this out. So, Jim Jones actually responded on Sway in the morning to Dee1. And if you are new to the situation, so what happened is Dee1 on Sway in the morning, Shade 45, the radio show, he actually called out a couple of artists, including Jim Jones, Meek Mill, Rick Ross, and it was really geared towards their musical content and not their actual livelihood, who they are, because he don't know them personally, but he called them out for their musical content, which Dee1 is actually known to do. He called them out, because they're still glorifying, shooting and all kind of negativity and stuff like that, which is pouring into the streets. People look up to them, that whole kind of thing. And before I play the response, just so you know, I am a Christian. So of course I love Dee1. I actually met him. He's not one of these Christian artists that's just, rapping, but he's for real about it. He's actually even called out people like Lecrae. Everybody knows who Lecrae is. He's even called Lecrae out recently, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's not just, trying to go viral or whatever. He really stands by his motto, which is be real, be righteous, be relevant. With that being said, I really, really respect the fact that it seems like all three of them have actually responded. Man, I think I gotta give them props. I gotta give them shout out for that. Regardless of where you stand, I mean, they're big time. They could have easily just ignored it and let everything just ride out. But they actually responded, man, and I think that's really, really real of them. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody has actually seen or heard the response from Meek Mill, let me know. I couldn't find it. I saw Dee1 responded to his response, just telling him thanks for responding and all that. He probably hit him with a private DM or something. I like what Jim Jones is talking about in here. He's pretty much saying like, yo, our music is like this. We talking about where we came from, the environment we know, we're familiar with, but I'm saying they're doing a lot of positivity too. So he kind of breaks that down a little bit. But I want to know y'all's thoughts. Is Dee1 wrong for the way he went about it? Jim Jones feels like he shouldn't have did this publicly. I personally felt like, why? I mean, if you're doing all of your stuff publicly, then you know what I'm saying. And also, they probably wouldn't have responded to him if he would have just hit them with a DM, because if he did that, I mean, it would have just been another DM that they would have ignored. You know what I'm saying? This is actually creating conversation, and I think it's actually appropriate. I think it's necessary that the conversations that are happening right now, even if they disagree, no matter where they stand, no matter where they fall, whatever it is, at least it's bringing to attention. And shoot, how can you be mad at that? It's something they may not have even thought about before. So I got to give shout out to Dee1 just for bringing it to attention. Even if they disagree, even if nothing changes, at least it's brought to awareness, and outside of those artists in particular, at least the audience can say, yo, this applies to me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I need to spread more positivity. Maybe I need to, like that kind of thing. So anyways, without further ado, here you go.
If he reached out,
he had the chance. He could have reached out. That avenue of talking to me is out.
That's out.
You heard?
Yeah.
I would have loved to have a conversation with that young man to enlighten him on certain things when he was mentioning my name. I had the same conversation with Farrakhan.
How did that go?
He summoned me for saying his name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
If you know now what you're talking about, young man, let me school you to what you're doing. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
And he told me I once said things about certain people that I wish that I didn't as I got older.
That's what the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan
after schooling me to a whole bunch of other things that he was schooling to me at that time when I had that meeting. He opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Would you be open to a conversation?
No.
Prior. I'm talking about like if an artist wanted to talk to you about
100%. He got in touch with me, somebody to call me like, yo, I got this kid want to have a conversation with you, think it's very important and shit like that. And yeah, we have a conversation. And afterwards you have a conversation, you can tell people about the conversation we had and where it went.
Mm-hmm.
You heard? But I don't think he went about it the right way, especially not talking about like people like Rick Ross and Meek Mills and the platforms that they have that they've been helping people with. Like, I watched Meek Mill go through so much shit in this industry, including going back and forth to jail numerous amounts of times because whatever was going on with was in Philly and things like that. And on top of that, he came back out on top like a champion and started to do things for others that can't afford to help themselves in these type of situations.
Mm-hmm.
How could you ever talk bad about people that's doing these type of things? If you want to have a conversation with them, have a conversation with them. You talking about Rick Ross. Rick Ross has helped so many people and put so many people on how to become a businessman, how to become a business owner. Like, I watch him share that wealth. I watch him share that game. Like, I admire the way he hustles. I see where he goes. That boy don't let no money slide. Like, these are people you should look at and you could see by the example that we've been setting. Okay, yeah, our music is rough. Yeah,
Okay.
we grew up in rough places.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about these rough places, we talking about things that we went through, so you don't have to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
You heard? A simple person could understand that. We're not glorifying what we're talking about. These are things that we really went through, and yeah, it is music. So in a bit of music, you do get.
Yeah,
You do get what you get, you heard? But we still in the entertainment business. And if you listen to any of my music is heavy on the spiritual side from the moment I made an album on my way to church.
Yeah.
If you know anything about me. And I've been battling with my demons and my sins from the moment I've been born. So how dare you talk about another person that's really trying to help people out here and help themselves at the same time? And you don't know my story. Nor do you know what the message that I'm preaching out here.
So there you have it, man. There's Jim Jones, man. I really respect the fact that he responded and even telling us, you know what I'm saying, he was literally on his way to church, you know what I mean? We all battling demons, so like I said, man, I think it's good that it's creating conversation, you know what I'm saying, to see a high-level artist, a vet in the game, an OG, you know what I mean, like talking about, yo, he's on his way to church, and he's really fighting demons, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to talk about, you know, people are scared to talk about real life, you know, and so yo, I got a question though, man. I see a lot of comments where people are like, yo, man, you know, D1 is cool, whatever, maybe, but that Christian talk or that Jesus talk, you know, like my question is, artists talk about other artists all the time. There's always stuff being said, you know what I mean? There's name drops, there's subliminals, whatever, what have you. But would this even be a thing if he wasn't a Christian, or would this even be a thing if he was emphasizing positivity? I mean, you got like there's a lot of comments I've seen where people are straight up like, nah, basically give us the negativity. And I know I'm exaggerating, you know what I mean? It's not literally being said that, but you know, that's what it kind of looks like sometimes. And look, this is coming from somebody who didn't grow up in church. The first time somebody offered me to listen to a Christian rap, I was like, yo, get that out. I literally took their CD and threw it out the car when they tried to play it for me. Get that stuff out of here. So I get it, you know what I mean? But I'm curious, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the first person to say something, man, they always a threat. They always a target, you know what I mean? And I'm just saying, you know, people don't like being corrected. People don't like being challenged, you know what I mean? Like, there's even a story where Tupac was literally on stage in Chicago and challenged everybody and said, y'all need to do better. And guess what? It ended in uproar. But guess what? He held them to a standard and called them out. But that's the way it is. When people get called out, you know, defenses rise. So what y'all think? And last thing I'll say, man, I do like where, you know, his defense is where he's like, you know, look, we do some positivity. We are empowering the community in our own way. And it's like, you know, he's like saying, yo, we trying. And it ain't no shame of where we at currently. And none of us have really fully gotten there yet. There's only one person who was, and that was Jesus.